The coins scattered across my kitchen counter told a story, one of sacrifice, stupidity, and what happens when you let guilt become your compass. I counted them methodically, sorting quarters from nickels, determined to scrape together enough for tomorrow's grocery run. My phone buzzed again, the 5th time Mom had called today. I let it ring. My name is Summer, and I've been paying my parents' mortgage for 10 years. Not by choice exactly. More like a temporary fix that became a permanent prison. The irony? I can barely afford my own rent. The phone buzzed again. This time a text. Summer, answer now. It's about Riley. Of course it was. Everything was always about Riley. I picked up on the next ring. Mom? Finally. Why haven't you been answering? Never mind. You'll never guess what happened. Her voice bubbled with the special excitement she reserved exclusively for Riley-related news. I braced myself, continuing to stack quarters. What happened? Riley's engaged. Bodhi proposed last night at that rooftop restaurant. You know, the one with the crystal chandeliers? He had a string quartet and everything. The quarter in my hand slipped, clattering to the floor. That's wonderful, I managed. We're having a family dinner tonight to celebrate. 7 o'clock sharp at La Maison. Don't be late. I glanced at my sad pile of coins. La Maison meant at least $50 per plate. Mom, I can't. Don't start, Summer. This is your sister's engagement. You're coming. Before I could protest, she continued. Oh, and we need to discuss the wedding budget. Your father and I have been talking, and since you're the practical one with all that financial knowledge... My stomach dropped. Mom, it's just $50,000. That's nothing for someone as responsible as you. You've always been so good with money. The room started spinning. $50,000? Well, obviously, that barely covers the basics these days. Riley deserves her dream wedding, doesn't she? After all, she's your only sister. I looked around my cramped apartment, at the second-hand furniture, the peeling wallpaper, the stack of unpaid medical bills on my desk. 10 years of paying their mortgage meant 10 years of putting my life on hold. No savings, no house of my own, no future. I'll see you at dinner, I said quietly, hanging up before she could respond. My phone immediately pinged with a text from Riley. OMG sis, can't wait to see you tonight. Already found the perfect venue. Attached was a photo of what looked like a castle, complete with sprawling gardens and a lake view, because of course it was. I opened my banking app, checking my balance. The mortgage payment was due tomorrow, $2,100, same as always. The remaining balance would barely cover my own rent. My best friend Sylvia's contact photo popped up on my screen. I answered, grateful for the distraction. Hey, how's my favorite human calculator? She chirped. Remember when we were kids and thought being good at math would make us rich? Uh-oh, what happened? I laughed, but it came out hollow. Riley's engaged. They want me to pay for the wedding. They what? Sylvia's voice rose an octave. After everything you've already... $50,000. Tell them to go fuck themselves. If only it were that simple. I have to go to a celebration dinner tonight. At La Maison. With what money? The coins you've been saving for groceries? I glanced at my pathetic pile. Maybe I can sell a kidney. Summer. Sylvia's voice turned serious. You have to stop this. You're killing yourself trying to keep them afloat while Riley posts Instagram stories from 5-star hotels. I know. I did know. I'd known for years. Then why? Because they're family, I said automatically, the same answer I'd given for a decade. Sylvia sighed. Family doesn't treat family like an ATM. My phone buzzed with another text from Mom. Wear something nice tonight, not those discount store clothes. I stared at the message, something sharp and angry finally crystallizing in my chest. 10 years of sacrifice, and they still weren't satisfied. They'd never be satisfied. I have to go, I told Sylvia. Need to find something nice to wear to dinner. Summer, please. I'll call you later. I hung up and looked at my banking app again. The mortgage payment sat there, scheduled for tomorrow, same as always. My finger hovered over the cancel payment button, but I couldn't do it. Not yet. Instead, I grabbed my keys and headed out to face another dinner, where I'd smile and nod and probably agree to everything they asked for, because that's what the practical one does, right? La Maison's crystal chandeliers sparkled overhead as I smoothed down my only nice dress, a black cocktail number I'd bought 3 years ago for a work function. Riley was already holding court at the center of the table, her perfectly manicured hand extended to show off an engagement ring that probably cost more than my annual rent. Summer! Mom waved me over, her smile tight. You're late. Traffic, I muttered, sliding into the only empty seat, directly across from Riley and her fiancé Bodhi. We already ordered appetizers, Riley announced, not looking up from her phone. And champagne. The good kind, obviously. Dad cleared his throat. Speaking of which, he raised his glass. To my beautiful daughter and her equally wonderful fiancé. May your future be as bright as that diamond. Everyone clinked glasses. I took a small sip, mentally calculating the cost of the good kind of champagne multiplied by 6 people. So, Riley leaned forward, her eyes sparkling. I've already found the perfect venue. It's this gorgeous estate with... The one with the lake, I interrupted. You saw my post. Isn't it amazing? They only do 10 weddings a year, so we had to book fast. Mom and Dad already put down the deposit. I nearly choked on my champagne. You what? Well, we couldn't risk losing it, Mom said quickly. It's perfect for Riley's vision. And how much was this non-refundable deposit? 10,000, Dad replied casually, as if announcing the time. But that comes off the total wedding budget, of course. My hands started shaking under the table. The budget you expect me to provide. Now, Summer. Mum's voice took on that familiar patronizing tone. We've always known you're the responsible one, the planner, while Riley has other gifts. Like being your favorite? The words slipped out before I could stop them. Riley's perfect smile faltered. Don't be bitter just because I'm getting married first. It's not my fault you're still single. Riley, Bodhi touched her arm, looking uncomfortable. It was the first time he'd moved since I arrived. Maybe we should... No, let's talk about this, I said, pushing my untouched plate aside. Let's talk about how I've been paying your mortgage for 10 years while Riley jets off to Bali and posts about living her best life. Dead silence fell over the table. Even the nearby diners seemed to pause. That was a family agreement, Dad said stiffly. After my accident, it was supposed to be temporary. 3 months, you said. Just until you got back on your feet. We're family, Mom hissed, leaning forward. Family helps each other. Really? Because I don't see Riley helping anyone but herself. Riley's face flushed red. You've always been jealous of me, just because you chose to be boring and responsible. I didn't choose anything. I was told it was my duty, my obligation, while you got everything handed to you on a silver platter. Ladies, the waiter appeared, looking nervous. Perhaps we could... Bring the check, I said, standing up. Split it 6 ways. Mom's eyes widened. Summer, sit down. You're making a scene. No, I'm finally speaking up. 10 years of my life gone. My savings, gone. My chances of buying my own home, gone. And now you want 50,000 more? You've always been good with money, Riley said, her voice dripping with condescension. It's literally the only thing you're better at than me. So worry about this wedding, and let me handle being the star. The room went very quiet, very still. You're right, I said softly. I am good with money, which is why I know exactly how much you all owe me. 10 years of mortgage payments, with interest. Dad's face turned purple. Now listen here. No, you listen. I'm done. Find another ATM for Riley's fairy tale wedding. I quit. I turned to leave, but Mum grabbed my wrist. If you walk out that door, don't bother coming back. I looked at her hand, then at her face. This woman who had manipulated me for a decade under the guise of maternal love. That's the first honest thing you've said to me in years. I pulled free and walked out, ignoring Riley's dramatic gasp and Mom's calls behind me. In the parking lot, my phone buzzed with the automated reminder, mortgage payments scheduled for tomorrow. With trembling fingers, I opened the app, stared at the payment screen. 10 years of obligation stared back. Cancel payment? The screen asked. For the first time in a decade, I pressed yes. And somewhere deep inside, something that had been bound in chains finally broke free. The morning after the dinner disaster, my phone lit up like a Christmas tree. 15 missed calls, 37 text messages, 3 voicemails, all from Mum, each more hysterical than the last. I ignored them all and went to work. You look different, Sylvia said, peering at me over her coffee cup as I settled at my desk. Like you finally got that stick out of your... I canceled the mortgage payment. She spat coffee across her keyboard. Holy shit, you actually did it? And told them I wouldn't pay for the wedding. Double holy shit! She wheeled her chair closer. What happened? Before I could answer, a familiar face appeared in our cubicle doorway. Noah Moore, my childhood neighbor turned corporate IT guy, was leaning against the frame with his usual easy smile. Computer troubles? He asked. Life troubles, Sylvia replied, gesturing at her coffee-splattered keyboard. But while you're here... As Noah cleaned up Sylvia's mess, I pulled up my email. Another message from Dad. Your mother is beside herself. Call immediately. Delete. So, Noah said, finishing with the keyboard. Life troubles? Summer finally grew a spine, Sylvia announced proudly. Tell him. I hesitated. Noah and I had grown up next door to each other, had watched each other's lives unfold from opposite sides of a fence. He'd seen firsthand how my parents operated. I stopped paying their mortgage, I said quietly. He straightened up. About damn time. You knew? Sylvia demanded. Everyone in the neighborhood knew, Noah replied. We watched Summer work 3 jobs in college while Riley got a new car for her sweet 16. My phone buzzed again. Riley this time. Mom's crying because of you. Again. Why do you always have to ruin everything? I turned the phone face down. Hey. Noah touched my shoulder. Remember what your grandmother used to say? Family's supposed to lift you, not leash you, I quoted automatically. The memory of Grandma Lorelei hit hard. She'd been the only one who ever stood up to my parents. Smart woman, Sylvia said. What else did she say? A lot. I opened my desk drawer, pulling out the folder where I kept important documents. She left me a letter before she died, but I never opened it. Said not to until I was ready to face the truth about family. And are you ready now? I stared at the sealed envelope. Maybe. Open it, Noah encouraged. What's the worst that could happen? As I broke the seal, another document caught my eye. An old bank statement I'd filed away. Something about the numbers didn't look right. I pulled it out, scanning the details. My blood ran cold. What? Sylvia and Noah asked simultaneously. These payments, they're not just for the mortgage. My hands started shaking. There's a second loan here, co-signed by Riley. Noah leaned over my shoulder. When was this taken out? 3 years ago. The same time Riley had started her influencer career. the same time my parents had insisted on increasing my monthly payments for property taxes. They used your money to cover Riley's loan. Sylvia's voice rose in outrage. Not just that. I dug deeper into the folder. They used me as a backup plan. Every time Riley overspent, every time she needed bailing out. It came from your payments, Noah finished, his face darkening. Those bastards! My phone buzzed again. A text from Mom. The mortgage payment didn't go through. Fix it now. For the first time, I saw the message for what it was. Not a mother's concern, but a manipulator's demand. I need to go home, I said suddenly. I need to check something. Want company? Noah offered. I nodded, grateful. Both of you? 20 minutes later, we were in my apartment, surrounded by a decade's worth of financial documents. Every statement, every receipt, every transfer, laid bare on my living room floor. Jesus, Sylvia whispered, holding up a bank statement. They've been double-dipping for years, using your payments to cover both the mortgage and Riley's expenses. Look at these credit card statements, Noah added. All these charges, luxury hotels, designer clothes, first-class flights, they're all in Riley's name, but the payments came from your account. My phone kept buzzing. I kept ignoring it. What are you going to do? Sylvia asked softly. I picked up Grandma Lorelei's letter, still unopened. I'm going to read this. Then I'm going to make some calls. To your parents? No. I met their concerned gazes with steel in my voice. To a lawyer. The letter felt heavy in my hands, like it contained more than just paper, like it held answers I'd been too afraid to seek. Whatever's in there, Noah said quietly. We're right here. I took a deep breath and broke the seal, unfolding what would turn out to be my grandmother's final gift and my key to freedom. Congratulations, the realtor beamed, handing me the keys. The house is yours. I stood in the empty living room of my new home, my very own home, running my fingers along the freshly painted walls. It wasn't much, a modest 2-bedroom with a small yard, but it was mine. Every square inch belonged to me. My phone buzzed. For once, it wasn't my family. It was Noah. Did you get the keys? Just now. I couldn't keep the smile out of my voice. Want to see it? Already outside. I opened the front door to find him holding a bottle of champagne and 2 plastic cups. First house celebration? Absolutely. We sat on the floor of my empty living room, sharing cheap champagne and watching sunlight stream through windows that needed washing. Have they figured it out yet? He asked carefully. That I'm not coming back? No. I took another sip. They're still sending wedding vendor invoices like nothing happened. As if on cue, my email notification pinged. From Dad, subject line, urgent. Don't, Noah warned, but I was already opening it. Inside was a detailed billing schedule for Riley's honeymoon, a month-long tour of Europe's finest hotels. The total made my eyes water. We'll reimburse you later, Dad's note read. Family takes care of family. Something snapped inside me. After everything, the letter from Grandma Lorelei revealing the truth about the house's ownership, the decade of financial manipulation, the endless demands, they were still treating me like their personal bank. I hit reply. This isn't my problem. I'm done funding her fantasy. Sent, I announced, clinking my plastic cup against Noah's. To boundaries. To boundaries, he echoed. And to your grandmother's excellent timing. We both glanced at Grandma Lorelei's letter, now framed on my otherwise empty wall. Her words had changed everything. The house was never meant to be their playground. I left my half to you, Summer, because you were the only one who understood its value. They can't sell or borrow against it without your signature. Remember that when the time comes to choose between their comfort and your freedom. My phone rang. Mom's name flashed on the screen. Speaker, Noah suggested. I want to hear this. I answered. Mom's voice exploded through the speaker. How dare you speak to your father that way, after everything we've done for you? Everything you've done for me? I laughed. Like using my mortgage payments to cover Riley's shopping sprees. Silence. Then, we did what we had to do. Riley has special needs. Yeah, the need for designer handbags and 5-star hotels. You've always been jealous of her success. What success? Being an influencer while living off my money? You ungrateful little... Mom's voice turned venomous. You always were just an accident with a checkbook. The words hung in the air like poison. Noah reached for my phone, but I beat him to it. Thanks for finally being honest, Mom. I've got some honesty for you, too. I'm not paying for the wedding. I'm not paying for the honeymoon. And I'm definitely not paying your mortgage anymore. You can't do this to us. Watch me. I hung up and blocked her number, then Dad's, then Riley's. Noah was watching me with a mixture of pride and concern. You okay? Better than okay. I stood up, walking to the window. I'm free. My phone pinged with one final email notification. Riley had posted a new Instagram story, a video of her crying, captioning it, "When your own sister betrays you." The comments were already flowing in, her followers demanding details. Should we tell them the truth? Noah asked, reading over my shoulder. Not yet. I closed the app. Let them dig their own grave first. We spent the rest of the afternoon making plans for furniture shopping, picking paint colors, and imagining what this house could become. As the sun set, casting long shadows across my empty floors, Noah helped me hang up a home sweet home sign Sylvia had given me as a housewarming gift. Hey, he said softly. Remember when we were kids and you used to climb over the fence to escape your parents fighting? I nodded. You'd always leave your window unlocked for me. Well, he gestured to my new house, now you have your own escape, no climbing required. My phone had finally gone quiet. Somewhere across town, my parents were probably panicking about next month's mortgage payment. Riley was probably filming more tearful Instagram stories. Their carefully constructed house of cards was beginning to crumble. But here, in my own home, with my own keys, and my own life stretching out before me, I felt nothing but peace. Want to help me paint this weekend? I asked Noah. He smiled. Wouldn't miss it for the world. For the first time in forever, I was exactly where I wanted to be, and exactly who I wanted to be. No guilt, no obligations, just freedom, and it felt absolutely perfect. The rehearsal dinner invitation arrived like a declaration of war, cream-colored paper, gold embossing, and my name conspicuously absent from the guest list. Riley was making a statement. Too bad I had a bigger one planned. You don't have to do this, Noah said, watching me adjust my dress in his car's rearview mirror. We were parked outside the restaurant, the same one where everything had imploded a month ago. Yes, I do. I pulled out the manila folder I'd prepared. They need to see exactly what they've done. Want backup? I squeezed his hand. Wait here? Inside, the private dining room buzzed with conversation. I spotted Riley holding court at the head table, Bodhi beside her, looking increasingly uncomfortable. My parents were working the room like politicians, all smiles and champagne toasts. Summer? Bodhi noticed me first, his eyes widening. I didn't think... She wasn't invited, Riley snapped, standing up. Security! Sit down, Riley, I said quietly. Unless you want everyone here to know about the credit card fraud. The color drained from her face. What are you talking about? Outside. Now. To my surprise, she followed me into the hallway. Mum started to intervene, but Dad held her back, watching us with wary eyes. Make it quick, Riley hissed. I have guests. Here. I handed her the folder. Everything's in there. The second mortgage, the credit cards, the loans they took out in your name. Her hands trembled as she flipped through the pages. This isn't… They wouldn't… They did. And they used my mortgage payments to cover it up. You're drowning in debt, Riley. Debt you don't even know about. You're lying. But her voice cracked. They would have told me. Like they told me they were using my money to fund your Instagram lifestyle? Bodhi appeared in the hallway. Everything okay out here? Show him. I nodded at the folder. Show him what you're really marrying into. Riley clutched the folder to her chest. Bodhi, don't… Is this why your parents insisted I sign those pre-wedding financial documents? He asked slowly. The ones about shared debt responsibility? Riley's face crumpled. I didn't know. Of course you didn't. I felt oddly calm. You were too busy winning. What? That's what this wedding was really about, right? Showing everyone how you won at life while boring, responsible Summer lost? She flinched. I never… Save it. I turned to Bodhi. Those documents they want you to sign, they'll make you legally responsible for all of this. I gestured at the folder. Every loan, every credit card, every lie. Think carefully about whether she's worth it. Mom burst into the hallway. What is going on out here? Riley, honey, your guests. Did you know? Riley's voice was small. About the loans? Mom froze. Dad appeared behind her, his face ashen. Riley, sweetheart, we can explain. Did you know? Riley's voice rose to a shriek. The folder fell, papers scattering across the floor like evidence at a crime scene. Bodhi knelt to pick one up. His eyes widened as he read. This is fraud. It's family business, Dad snapped. Stay out of it. Family? I laughed. Is that what you call this? Riley was still staring at the papers, at the years of financial manipulation laid bare. All this time? Summer was paying for everything? We did what we had to do, Mom insisted. To maintain our standard of living. To maintain your lies, I corrected. And now they're all coming out. Bodhi stood up slowly, gathering the papers. I need time to think about this. Bodhi, please. Riley reached for him, but he stepped back. I'll call you tomorrow. He walked away, taking the folder with him. Riley turned on me, tears streaking her perfect makeup. You've ruined everything. This was supposed to be my perfect moment, my chance to show everyone. That you won? I finished softly. Congratulations, Riley. You won a house of cards and now it's falling down. I left her there, sobbing in the hallway while our parents tried desperately to damage control. In the parking lot, Noah was waiting, concern etched on his face. How did it go? Through the restaurant windows, I could see chaos unfolding. Guests were leaving. Riley was having a meltdown. Mom was trying to salvage the evening while Dad made frantic phone calls. It went exactly as planned. I got into the car. Take me home. As we drove away, my phone lit up with a text from Bodhi. Thank you for telling me the truth. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. The truth was finally doing what I never could, setting everyone free, whether they wanted it or not. You know they'll retaliate, Noah said quietly. I smiled, thinking of Grandma Lorelei's letter and the legal bombshell still to come. Let them try. The morning sun streamed through my kitchen window as I made coffee in my own home. On my own terms. 3 weeks had passed since the rehearsal dinner disaster. 3 weeks of blessed silence. My doorbell rang. Sylvia and Noah stood outside, carrying bags of groceries. First official dinner party? Sylvia grinned, holding up a bottle of wine. As long as you're both cooking, I laughed, letting them in. Unless you want food poisoning. We settled into an easy rhythm, Sylvia chopping vegetables, Noah handling the pasta, Me setting the table with my newly purchased dinnerware. Everything in this house was mine, bought with my own money, no strings attached. "Have you heard anything?" Sylvia asked, sliding vegetables into a pan. Radio silence. Even Riley's Instagram has been quiet. "That's a first," Noah commented, stirring the sauce. "No more crying selfies?" "Nope. And the wedding's been postponed indefinitely. Bodhi moved out last week." Sylvia whistled. "Karma's finally showing up to work." My phone rang, shattering our peaceful moment. Mom's number flashed on the screen. "Don't," Noah started, but I was already answering. "Summer!" Mom's voice was hysterical. "We got a notice from the bank. They're saying foreclosure." The wooden spoon in Noah's hand clattered to the counter. Sylvia froze mid-chop. "I know," I said calmly. "You..." "What?" "I know about the foreclosure notice. I've known for weeks." Silence crackled over the line. Then, "What did you do?" "Nothing. I just stopped preventing the inevitable." "They're taking the house." She was sobbing now. "Your father's childhood home. How could you let this happen?" "The same way you let me sacrifice 10 years of my life." "We're your parents." "And I'm your daughter, not your ATM." More silence. Then Dad's voice. "Summer, listen to me. We can fix this. Just help us with this month's payment and we'll..." "No. No." His voice turned hard. "After everything we've done for you?" "Done for me?" I laughed. "You mean done to me? You ungrateful little..." I hung up, blocked their numbers, again. Sylvia and Noah were watching me with a mixture of concern and pride. "You okay?" Noah asked softly. Before I could answer, my phone pinged with an Instagram notification. Riley had finally broken her silence with a new post, a selfie from a luxury hotel suite, caption reading, "Living fabulously, despite the haters." "Is she serious?" Sylvia peered at my screen. "Their house is being foreclosed and she's at a hotel?" I scrolled through the comments. They were not kind. "How are they affording hotels when they're bankrupt? Didn't your wedding get cancelled because of money issues? Maybe pay your mortgage instead of posting fake flex pics." The truth was unraveling in real time, one angry comment at a time. "Dinner's ready," Noah announced, pulling me away from the drama. "Let's celebrate your freedom instead of watching their downfall." We sat around my new dining table, eating pasta and drinking wine, laughing about nothing and everything. Through the window, I could see my small backyard where Noah had helped me plant a garden last weekend. On the wall hung photos of my new life, my house keys, my first mortgage statement, my friends helping me move in. My phone kept lighting up with notifications as Riley's post went viral for all the wrong reasons. People were connecting dots, sharing stories, exposing years of financial manipulation. "You didn't even have to say anything," Sylvia marveled, reading the comments. "They're destroying themselves." "Karma isn't a sledgehammer," I said, remembering Grandma Lorelei's words. "It's a mirror. Eventually, everyone has to face their own reflection." Noah raised his glass. "To karma? To freedom," I corrected, clinking glasses with my real family, the one I chose. Later that night, after Sylvia and Noah left, I sat on my porch watching the stars. My phone lit up one last time, a text from Riley. "I hope you're happy. You've destroyed everything." I typed back, "No, Riley. You did that all on your own." Then I turned off my phone, locked my door, my lock, my key, and went to bed in my own house, in my own life, finally free from the weight of other people's expectations. Tomorrow would bring more drama, more fallout, more consequences. But for tonight, I had pasta leftovers in my fridge, flowers growing in my garden, and peace in my heart. And that was worth more than all the mortgage payments in the world. The lawyer's office was colder than I expected, all glass and steel and expensive silence. Mr. Patterson adjusted his glasses, reviewing Grandma Lorelei's documents one last time. "Well," he said finally, "your grandmother was quite thorough." "Meaning?" "Meaning she knew exactly what your parents would do, and she prepared accordingly." He pulled out a thick folder. The house wasn't just split ownership. She put specific conditions in place. Noah squeezed my hand under the table as the lawyer continued. "Your parents could only maintain their half of ownership if they kept the property free of additional liens or mortgages. The moment they took out that second mortgage without your knowledge, they violated the terms," I finished. "Exactly. Which means full ownership reverts to you." He slid a document across the desk. "You can do whatever you want with it." My phone buzzed. Another hysterical voicemail from Mom about the foreclosure. I ignored it. "What are my options?" "You could keep it, sell it, or—" He paused meaningfully. "Let the bank take it." The weight of that power settled over me. 10 years of payments, of sacrifice, of manipulation, all leading to this moment. "There's one more thing," Patterson added, pulling out an envelope. "This just cleared probate. Your grandmother left specific instructions for it to be delivered now." My hands trembled as I opened it. Inside was a letter, written in Grandma Lorelei's familiar scrawl. "My dearest Summer, if you're reading this, you've finally learned to put yourself first. Good. Now listen carefully. That house was meant to be your inheritance, your safety net, your fresh start. Instead, they turned it into your prison. They used your love against you, your sense of duty against you, your kindness against you. But you're stronger than their manipulation, smarter than their schemes. And now, you have the power to end it. Don't let guilt stop you. Don't let their tears manipulate you. Sometimes the kindest thing we can do for others is to let them face the consequences of their actions. I love you, my brave girl. Choose yourself. Love, Grandma." A tear splashed onto the paper. Noah's arm went around my shoulders. "What do you want to do?" he asked softly. Before I could answer, my phone rang. Dad's number, from a new account. "Summer, please," he begged when I answered. "The bank's moving forward with foreclosure. We'll be homeless." "No, you won't. You'll just have to live within your means for once. We can fix this. We'll sign whatever you want." "That's the problem, Dad. You've been signing things you shouldn't for years. Using my money to cover Riley's debts. Taking out loans you couldn't afford." "We did it for the family." "No," I said firmly. "You did it for yourselves." I hung up and turned to the lawyer. "What do I need to sign?" An hour later, it was done. I'd signed away my claim to the house, allowing the bank's foreclosure to proceed. No more fighting it. No more fixing it. No more enabling their financial disasters. As we left the office, my phone exploded with notifications. Riley had gone nuclear on social media, posting screenshots of text conversations, bank statements, everything, trying to paint herself as the victim. But the comments weren't on her side. "Wait, your sister paid your parents' mortgage for 10 years while you lived luxury. So you knew they were using her money to fund your lifestyle. No wonder your fiancé left." "Don't read those," Noah said, taking my phone. "Let's go home." But we only made it halfway to the car before I saw them, my parents, standing by my car, looking defeated. "Summer?" Mum stepped forward. "Please. How did you find me?" "Riley saw you come in." Dad wouldn't meet my eyes. "We had to try one last time." "It's over," I said quietly. "The house is going to foreclosure. I've signed the papers." "You can't do this to us." Mom's voice rose hysterically. "We're your parents." "Yes, you are. And you taught me my final lesson. Sometimes love means walking away." They stood there, speechless for the first time in my life, as I got into my car. Noah took the driver's seat, starting the engine. Through the rearview mirror, I watched my parents grow smaller, their empire of lies crumbling around them. My phone lit up with one final text from Riley. "I hope you're happy. You've destroyed this family." I typed back, "No, Riley. The family was destroyed long ago. I just stopped pretending it wasn't." Then I turned off my phone, leaned back in my seat, and let Noah drive me home. To my house, my life, my future. Sometimes karma doesn't come when you deserve it. It comes when you're finally ready to let go. The morning sun warmed my face as I tended to my garden, pulling weeds and checking on the tomatoes Noah had helped me plant. A familiar rumble drew my attention to the street. A moving truck, parking in front of my old family home. I straightened up, watching as workers began emptying the house. The foreclosure was finally happening. My phone buzzed, a text from Sylvia. "Are you watching?" "Yes," I replied. "Want company?" "Already have some," I texted back, as Noah appeared with 2 cups of coffee, handing me one. We stood in my garden, watching silently as years of accumulated possessions emerged from the house. Designer furniture, expensive artwork, Riley's childhood trophies, Mom's precious china collection. "Summer?" I turned to find Bodhi standing at my garden gate, looking uncomfortable. "Hey," I said carefully. "Didn't expect to see you here. I came to return this." He held out a small velvet box, Riley's engagement ring. "And to say thank you." "For what?" "For saving me from making a huge mistake." He glanced at the moving truck. "I checked the documents you showed me. Called off the wedding just in time." "I'm sorry," I said, and meant it. "Don't be. Better to know now than after signing those papers." He hesitated. "Have you heard from them?" "Not since the lawyer's office." A car screeched around the corner, Riley's red convertible. She jumped out, running toward the moving truck. "Stop! You can't take those things. They're ours." The workers ignored her, continuing their work. Mom and Dad weren't far behind, pulling up in their luxury SUV that they somehow still hadn't sold. "Summer?" Mom spotted me in my garden. "Are you happy now? Looking at your handiwork?" "This isn't my handiwork," I called back calmly. "This is yours. All of it." Riley spun around, finally noticing Bodhi. Her face crumpled. "Baby, please." "Save it," he said quietly. "I came to return this." He set the ring box on the sidewalk and walked away without looking back. Riley's scream of rage echoed down the street. "This is all your fault!" She stormed toward my gate. "You couldn't stand seeing me happy." "Happy?" I laughed. "Riley, you were never happy. You were just better at pretending." "Girls, please." Dad stepped forward. "We can still fix this." "No," I cut him off. "We can't, and that's okay." "Okay?" Mom's voice rose. "How is any of this okay?" I gestured to my house, my garden, my life. "Because I'm okay. For the first time in my life, I'm actually okay." Riley lunged forward, but Noah stepped between us. "That's close enough." "Oh, look who finally got a boyfriend," she sneered. "Took you long enough." "Actually," Noah smiled, taking my hand, "I got a partner. Someone who knows her worth and isn't afraid to show it." The moving truck's engine started up. Mom made one last, desperate attempt. "Summer, please. We're still your family." "No," I said softly. "You're just people I used to know." I turned away, walking back to my garden. Behind me, I heard Riley's sobs, Mum's pleas, Dad's angry mutters, but they felt distant, like echoes from another life. Noah followed me to my tomato plants. "You okay?" "Better than okay." I picked up my gardening tools. "Help me with these weeds?" We worked in comfortable silence while the drama played out behind us. Eventually, the moving truck pulled away. The luxury SUV followed. Riley's convertible screeched off last, leaving only tire marks and echoing silence. I stood up, brushing dirt from my knees, and looked at my former home. Empty now, like it should have been years ago. "What now?" Noah asked. "Now?" I smiled. "Now I live my life." I walked to my front door, my door, with my name on the mailbox, and turned the key. Inside, sunlight streamed through windows I'd washed myself. Photos of real moments hung on walls I'd painted. Bills I could afford sat neatly on a desk I'd bought with my own money. Noah wrapped his arms around me from behind. "Welcome home." "I am home," I said, and finally felt the truth of it. I've been home since I chose me. Outside, the garden waited for attention. Inside, dinner needed cooking. Life went on. Simpler, cleaner, honest. I closed the door on the past and turned toward my future. Because that's what choosing yourself means. Not just closing doors, but opening new ones. And this door? It had my name on it. Just mine. And that was everything.